Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with some basketball analysis. We're gonna talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dejounte Murray both being traded. The Mavericks did trade Tim Hardaway Jr. He was a guy that they thought can add a lot of offense to their team, and he kind of sprinkle in some shots and some make shots. Other than that, he's not the most efficient guy. He didn't really play well at all in the playoffs to the point where they couldn't even rely on him. And he has no upside anymore as he got older, and he was just basically a guy that can be a microwave oven type of guy that can come out and get hot and make some shots, and contribute that way and give some floor spacing because he don't need the ball always to make shots too. Didn't really work out fully in Dallas, but he had stints where it made sense, but just not enough to them to be convinced to bring him back. And they get three. I mean, they also send three second rounders to the Pistons for Quentin Grimes, who's more of a defender slash guy that can play off the ball. They rather have the defense of Quentin Grimes and the offense of Tim Hardaway Jr. Plus, Tim Hardaway plays so bad that they had to include those picks just for this trade to go through. Um, the Detroit will take Hardaway into their cap space, which they do have available. The Mavericks also entered the all-season prioritizing the trade of Hardaway in the offer to a significant portion of their 12.9 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception to Derrick Jones Jr., which allows them to give that money to Derrick Jones Jr., a long, lanky defender that have some upside with his three-point shot that he's shown in the playoffs and during the regular season, that he has some more upside, especially if he can get it consistently going. Something that they also asked for Tim Hardaway to do. But obviously, Derrick Jones Jr. is a better defender, and that's why they rather have Jones Jr. and Quentin Grimes over a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr., especially when they need to be able to slow people down as they figure that out in the finals, which they just got to wait till the right pieces come around because Luka is so young. The Hardaway fell in and out of the Mavericks rotation at various times during his tenure with the team, showing you that this was the best they can get, and they took it, and they never could really make anything great out of it. But the time is over with Tim Hardaway. Jones provided better two-way ability on the wing than Hardaway was a key part of the finals run, and that's the credit that they give Derrick Jones Jr. So that's why they made it a priority to bring him back. The Mavericks did re-sign Hardaway to a 4-year, $72 million deal to take a gamble on him because they couldn't get other free agents. So they prioritized Tim Hardaway back then in 2021 free agency as he was coming off a strong playoff run, and Hardaway is entering the final season of his $16.2 million, which he has left, or 11.5% of the 24-25 salary cap that would have been used against them if they didn't trade for a guy with lower cap, which is Quentin Grimes. The Mavericks acquired Hardaway in 2019 from the New York Knicks as a part of the Kristaps Porzingis trade, and now Porzingis is gone and the champion, and now Hardaway is gone from that deal too. Grimes is actually on a $4.3 million contract, which is very, very low, showing that's about a $10 million difference between Grimes and Hardaway. And he was acquired from the Pistons, like I said before, the New York Knicks at the deadline in the Bojan Bogdanovic trade. In 51 games across the Knicks and the Pistons, Grimes averaged 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 1.3 assists in 20 minutes. So that's decent production for a guy coming off the bench and only playing 20 minutes. You almost at double figures if he hits more threes, and he's going to have a role where he's going to have those opportunities with the New York Knicks. You can't blame him for taking that chance, because if you can have a better chance in your career like Hardaway did himself, I'd rather just put myself in a situation where I'm financially secure and I also get to play a lot of minutes. And I think that that's a smart decision that most of us all will make. Emmanuel quickly and the Raptors did agree to a 5-year, $175 million deal. He obviously just got traded there, and you know quickly, salary in 2024 will likely be just a little over 30 million, and approximately 21% of the salary cap will go to him after this deal was fully agreed to. The Raptors did just acquire quickly in December from the New York Knicks trade as a part of that OG and Anunoby trade. And 30 games with the Raptors quickly did average 15 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in just 24 minutes in a six-man role, which is about what you want him to do and about, what he has always been. Quickly would have been a restricted free agent had he reached the open market on June 30th, but they was able to get that deal locked up, which is not something that's surprising as they're trying to keep their young talent. D'Angelo Russell now is even considering more likely to exercise the $18.7 million option with the Lakers, something that was changed a little bit in his mentality. Now he's evaluating all his options, and then he's going to go with the best one like most of these players are doing. The Raptors pick up $23 million option on Bruce Brown. They look to continue to evaluate trade option. They picked him up as an asset. He ended up having a decent season, and they ended up having to keep him right now until they can find the best suitor. And I feel like he's going to be worth something. Obviously, $23 million option is a decent deal on Bruce Brown, a guy that can score, a guy that defends, a guy that plays hard. Um, Contenders I can see wanting him like he usually gets every year. We just see what they get mainly in return. So Brown did sign a 2-year, $45 million deal with the Pacers during 2003 offseason, following his excellent performance in the playoffs for the Denver Nuggets, which we knew he was part of that championship team. And 34 games with the Raptors, Brown did average 9 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 2.7 assists in 26 minutes, which is decent production from a guy of his caliber. And we'll see if he can get a reduced role or if he can get a better role later this month or early next month. Chris Paul did agree to move $30 million guarantee date to June 30th as the Warriors continue to pursue a trade to get Chris Paul out of there. Just remember, he is a little older, so most people are not going to want him. Some teams don't even look at Chris Paul as a starter anymore, and we've seen them come off the bench for the Golden State Warriors, but they ended up missing the playoffs. So him as a difference maker probably dwindles too a little bit. If you can't score or you can't create separation or you can't create passing angles, then your value goes down, especially if you're not as great as a defender anymore. But people know that these are the last days of Chris Paul, and he's already on the aspiring with this contract. So it's not the worst deal to go for him for one season just to see what he got left in the tank. But I would still recommend it for that reason because he's a winner and he's a guy that can really be a great mentor and a great guy that can show you the ropes. If you have a young team or a team that's trying to be a contender, or even if a team is a contender, just remember Klay Thompson also said that him and the Mavericks have strong mutual interests. They need shooters. He's the best shooter available. And then the biggest trade of them all, Pelicans acquire Dejounte Murray from the Hawks for Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, and 2 first-round picks. The New Orleans have made a great move here. The Pelicans will send that Los Angeles first-round pick in 2025, plus the least favorable 2027 first-round pick between the Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pelicans deferred their acceptance of a first-round pick from the Lakers in this year's draft to receive it in 2025, which was their choice. Murray did sign a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Hawks during the 23 offseason. Murray is represented by Rich Paul and cannot become a free agent until 2027, which gives them great control to evaluate if Murray is really the guy for them, like the Hawks ended up doing when they traded for him in that season. And he ended up putting up great, well-rounded numbers, 22, 5, and 5, and played decent defense. With his player option in 27-28, Murray has the NBA largest bonus at $12 million, which can be negotiated down. So he can actually lose more money for you to fit another player on his roster or for you to negotiate with him to see if he's really worth the money when that time has come after you see if he fits in with the group of guys that you have. The Hawks entered the offseason widely expected to trade Murray or Trae Young, with the deal clarifying their outlook that they're just not great enough and they're just not a contender and they just don't play well enough for the team to be at the place where they needed to be. They expected themselves to be contenders, just didn't work out that way. And now they try to move off these guys. Atlanta did discuss a trade with the Pelicans at the trade deadline, and now they was able to get it done by moving him to the Pelicans. So no Dyson Daniels, no more no Larry Nance. They lose some size. They lose a little bit in Dyson Daniels, but what they gain is an all-star player that was just there, not that long ago, and one of the best defenders at the guard position, and a guy that can get, the assists and the rebounds at the same time, while still being, one of the biggest difference makers at the position in the game. And I do feel like that's the most value that you can get. And when it comes to what the Hawks get, they don't really need Larry Nance or Dyson Daniels long term, but they get 2 first-round picks to reshape this roster and reshape the direction that they're going in. And Dyson Daniels is a decent role player for a young guy. Larry Nance is getting traded, since the beginning. He had a little home found in Pelicans, but they ultimately decided to move off of him. He's just as good as a defender as Murray sometimes, but I would say he's not going to be a long-term stay for the Hawks, as they just got a number 1 pick, and they already have a guy that already plays small forward. And if they're going to play him as a power forward, small forward, that means he's going to be coming off the bench as a scorer / defender, as a rim protector, and that's not going to be long-term fix. They're going to use Larry Nance and Dyson Daniels for at least 1 to 2 years, and they'll probably be off of these guys, or probably even trading them for second-rounders, as they are not glue guys or stick guys that you want to keep around for long term, as based off their career has been. And if you can't be that, and Dejounte Murray even showing that he might not be that, because he done got moved twice right now, and it's just crazy to see a guy that's so valuable with the defense and the offensive skills at that position to be wanted, but still not being able to find a home that he can stay and grow. And now his role is going to change a little bit, because the style of play is totally different in New Orleans than it is in Atlanta, which was a little bit similar to San Antonio. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell for more analysis in the future. Continue to watch my old classics, as I have 2,000 plus videos for you guys to watch, old, new, and recent. And if you're trying to catch up on the news, I got video just like this to give you the biggest headliners, all in one video, so you can enjoy at your own pace. And that's the purpose of being a subscriber. Watch when you want, click when you want, and also give me some credit for giving you the content that you want. And that's all I can ask for you, and that's the purpose of the like button and the comment. Show love, because I'm doing a great job and you guys love what I do and you love the videos I make. Other than that, I'm gone.